Morning, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Committee on Public Safety, Judiciary, and Homeland Security. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Each member is acknowledging that they are attending the meeting via Zoom and that they are located in Wayne County, Michigan, unless otherwise stated when I call your name. Commissioner Kniezek.
Here.
Commissioner Kinlock.
Present.
Commissioner Basham.
Here.
Commissioner Scott.
Present.
Chair Clark Coleman.
Here.
You have a quorum present.
Thank you. Okay. Madam Clerk, okay, go ahead. Next item.
B, Chairwoman's remarks.
I have none at this time.
C, approval of the September 8th, 2021 meeting minutes.
Move approval with any necessary corrections, Madam Chair. Kinlock.
Support.
Properly moved by Commissioner Kinlock, supported by Commissioner Scott. Are there questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Madam Clerk.
D, unfinished business. There is none listed.
Okay.
Item 1, under new business, communication from Samaya Harb, Director of Administration, Sheriff's Office, forwarding the monthly report on overtime costs.
Okay, Samaya, are you here?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Good
I
morning.
hope everybody's doing great. This is my monthly report concerning overtime at the Sheriff's Office. If you look at the table that I have, we've spent actual overtime is what we have on JD Edwards is that we spent $8.7 million in overtime. However, there's a mistake on there because the consultants gave us credit to overtime from the CARES Act money, and they're taking that journal voucher out. So the actual expenditure next month, when I give you the same report, it'll be a lot higher than $8.7 million in overtime. The reason for the overtime is that we can't seem to keep our officers and our staff employed at the Sheriff's Office. This year so far, we've hired 30 police officers and we lost 88 to retirement, resignation, and termination, yes. And I have at least 10 requests that will be for retirement starting 10/1. Yeah, it's crazy. The number of employees on family medical leave has increased. We have 49% of our staff on FMLA. That means we cannot order them to do overtime. We cannot, if they have to have 2 or 3 days on FMLA where they can't come into work, we have to honor that. And we have no control over who requests for FMLA because that's a federal law that requires us to do FMLA for those who need it. But 49% of our staff are on FMLA one way or another.
All right, so they're on family leave.
Yes.
That means that they don't work at all, or
no, they work.
Okay.
Some of them, I have some who are allowed to take 2 FMLA days because they're caring for elderly parents, so they don't work those 2 days. I have FMLA that says only 40 hours can be worked, no overtime. It all depends. Every FMLA is different, but no, for the most part, they work part-time and they leave the other part, or they just are not required. They cannot be required to do overtime. So it all depends on what the doctors give them.
Okay, Commissioner Basham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. One of the forced overtime is probably what spurs maybe some of the FMLA leave, but without getting into specifics. But I was approached by the sheriff who commented about what the state police used to do. I don't know if they still do it or not, but and this was a senior a sheriff's officer. We used to allow, at least the state police would allow you to retire, and then you could work after your retirement, but you would get no benefits, no health care, no, because you're now you're retiree working. But that would actually save us, believe it or not, some overtime money a little bit. So that's something worth exploring. And so I'm doing a formal request to have us look at that, or have our personnel look at that and see if that's if it makes sense or not. And if it does, then we should do it versus forced overtime, because that's why a lot of people are leaving the sheriff's department. One, they tell me they don't want to be a jailer for 25 years or 30 years. And then two, they don't want to work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. You know, you can't see your kids if you're working, 7 days a week. So a lot of that makes sense to me. And so I think it's something we should explore, Madam Chair, and see if it makes sense. And if it does make sense, then we should do it.
So
Through the chair.
wait, Commissioner Basham,
Yes, ma'am.
would they be working on like a contract? Is it, they retired, so then they would come back on a contractual basis as a contract employee?
That's what I'm understanding.
I guess you also would have to clear that with
Personnel.
with the labor, with the labor union, the 50, I guess it's not 501 anymore. What is it called now? What is the deputies union called now? Is it
The officers is POAM, police officer, something, POAM, and then 3317 for the supervisors, for the
Okay.
sergeants and the lieutenants.
so it's no longer 50, what was it? What was
Yeah,
it?
they changed it. They changed it
501.
way before. Yes, it's
So
been changed.
now they're POAM.
POAM, that's what they call POAM.
And if I may, Madam Chair, have you heard any of that, Samaya, about them wanting to do that?
Through the chair, I was going to say that that I love that idea. As a matter of fact, right now, until next week, I have till Monday to come up with a letter. I have to look at the IRS rulings on whether or not we can hire back people who retired from us. There's a couple of state rulings that I'm looking at as well. I'm putting a memo together to submit to the CO's office for the benefit of doing that. I think you were talking about the drop program that the state used to do.
Yes.
Yes, it's exactly that. But I'm looking to see if there's any ramification for us bringing in people who retired beyond the 1,000 hours. As of right now, anybody who has retired from the sheriff's office, we can bring them on 1,000 hours. So I'm going to go beyond that and see if there's benefit to bring them full-time, maybe 40 hours a week, as opposed to no employees. And that would be a great benefit to us. And then the overtime will be reduced tremendously. But I'm working on that memo, and I'll share it with you as soon as I'm done with it and after to the CO's office.
Okay, so does we now employ deputies and they can work 1,000 hours? Are we doing that presently?
Yes, we do. We do.
Retired
Deputies from the sheriff's office can work up to 1,000 hours. So I'm looking and exploring the IRS rulings to see if there's something that would allow us to hire them on temporary basis where they don't get any benefits and just work the 40 hours as opposed to the 1,000 hours.
Okay, because the 1,000 hours, they don't get benefits from that.
They don't get benefits as well. Yeah.
But they're already getting benefits from their
From
retirement.
their retirement. Yes. From their pension. Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So it's a great deal and lots of savings if we can get to that. But like I said, I started the memo yesterday, but I have not explored all the options as of yet.
Okay. Commissioner Basham, you have something else?
That's all, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Your hand is still up.
No, ma'am. My hands are down.
Okay. Are there any other comments or questions for Samaya on this issue? Okay. Can I have a motion?
So move.
So you're moving to,
Should be receive and file.
one is receiving file. Okay. Yes. You're moving to receive and file. Do I have a second?
Support.
Okay. Probably moved and supported. that we received and filed, item number 1. Are there any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The motion carries. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item 2, requesting commission approval of modification to a 2-year grant agreement with the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs, Bureau of Justice Assistance.
Okay, I am told that we will not have anyone here, that Tony is unable to be with us today. So, Joe, you want to just briefly go over this so that the commissioners will know exactly what we're talking about here?
Yes, thank you, Chair. This is Joe Slezak, the policy analyst. This is an extension, if you will, a 1-year extension with no additional money. The money stays the same. It's a $360,000 federal grant, no county match required. And what Tony did tell me when I talked to him this morning was, I mean, it's targeting specific areas in the city of Detroit. The Detroit Police Department has specifically chosen the 9th and 12th precincts for the focus of that. I know the 9th precinct is on the east side, and the 12th precinct, I know Commissioner Clark Coleman is in your district.
Right.
And so that the focus is the 9th and 12th based on the Detroit Police Department request.
Okay, all right. Are there any questions on this motion, on this item? No questions. Can I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Support.
Properly moved by Commissioner Scott, supported by Commissioner Basham. Any other questions on this motion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, wait, I'm sorry. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Knezek,
Yes.
Commissioner Kinlock, Commissioner Kinlock,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Chair Clark Coleman.
Yes. The motion passes. Next item.
Item 3, requesting commission approval of modification to a fiscal year 2018 Smart Prosecution Initiative Research Partner Subaward Agreement with Michigan State University.
Okay, Joe.
What this is this is a subaward for number 2. So the money for number 3 is being drawn out of that grant for number 2. This is a 1-year extension, no additional cost. What it is there's a research team at Michigan State. It's led by a professor and a group of graduate students. They're essentially doing statistical analysis that ties into the item number 2.
Okay, so this is where the money comes from.
Yeah, the money is coming out of item number 2, the $360,000 grant. The
Right.
$72,000 is being drawn from that 360.
From item number 2.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any questions on this item?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Do I have a
Support.
support?
Support.
Properly moved by Commissioner Scott, supported by Commissioner Basham. Are there any other questions on the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Knezek,
Yes.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Chair Clark Coleman.
Yes. The motion passes. Madam Clerk. Next
Item 4, requesting commission approval of Amendment 1 to a professional services contract with the City of Detroit.
Okay, Joe, on that one? Wait, let's see.
Yes. Yep. This one is number 4 is again a 1-year extension. No change in money. It's still the 102,060. What it is the an assistant prosecuting attorney with the county is working with the City of Detroit, with the Detroit Police Department, and they're trying to identify the sources of guns committed in crimes. And this is being paid for. The city of Detroit got a federal grant, and the city is paying the prosecutor's office or the county this 102 for that assistant prosecuting attorney. So it's essentially, it's money coming into the county.
Okay. Are there any questions on item number 4?
Madam Chair, move for approval.
Support.
Was that Kenlock?
Kenlock, yes.
Okay. It's been properly moved by Commissioner Kenlock, supported by Commissioner Scott. Any questions on this item at all? Hearing none, all those in favor, please, I'm sorry, once again, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Kenizik,
Yes.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Chair Clark Coleman.
Yes, the motion passes. Next item.
Item 5 on the addenda, requesting commission approval of a grant agreement with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Okay, who's here to wait, the prosecutor? Same one, Joe?
Yes, this is also a prosecutor's office item. This is an annual grant that this is the second year that the county has gotten this grant specifically for this amount. The county has gotten other grants from the state for the sexual assault kit team, I believe going back to 2013, but this is the second year of this specific grant. It's the same amount as last year, and it pays for 2 employees for the sexual assault kit team.
Okay. Yeah, this program. Okay. Are there any questions on this item?
So
Hearing none.
moved, Madam Chair.
Okay. Properly moved by Commissioner Scott. Do I have a second?
Support. Kenlock.
Properly supported by Commissioner Kenlock. Are there any questions on this motion? Anything further? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Kenizik,
Abstain.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Chair Clark Coleman.
Yes, the motion carries. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item 6, requesting commission approval of Amendment 2 to a 5-year contract with Education Training Research Services Corporation.
Okay.
Good. Sorry.
Is it Ebony here today? Is this?
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning. Through the chair, Ebony McCann, HHVS Adult Community Corrections Administrator. The department is requesting permission to to amend the current 5-year contract with ETRS Page. Page is responsible, ETRS is responsible for providing cognitive behavioral therapy inside of the jail. During this amendment period, the division will issue an RFP to procure a vendor. We are asking to modify the contract by $50,000, extending the term for a period of 6 months. This vendor or contract is 100% grant funded through the funds Community Corrections receives from the Michigan Department of Community Corrections.
Thank you, Ebony. Are there any questions on this item? Okay. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Properly
Support.
moved by Commissioner Scott, supported by Commissioner Basham. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Kenizik,
Yes.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Chair Clark Coleman.
Yes. The motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item 7, requesting commission approval of a memorandum of understanding with the Michigan Department of Attorney General.
Okay. All right, who's here to speak on this one?
Through the chair, this is Sumaya. This is an MOU between the Attorney General's office and the Sheriff's office.
Right.
This MOU is for 1 year right now. It should end September 30th, 2022. The sheriff's office will be providing security, stationary security at the Attorney General's house in City of Plymouth. The officer, we might have 1 to 2 officers depending on the availability. It'll be worked on overtime. It'll be in the evening. There is an option to renew at a later date if the sheriff's office and the Attorney General's office both feel that it needs to be renewed.
And this is fully funded by the
Attorney General's budget, yes.
AG's budget.
Yes, we will be submitting monthly invoices depending on the rank of the person who will be doing the security, and then they will be paying us on a monthly basis as well.
Okay, Commissioner Basham,
Pardon me?
you got your hand up.
Yes. Yeah, it just procedure wise, and I really like our AG. But as a state employee, wouldn't like MSP offer this kind of protection? And, you know, I just think it's different that the county, like we didn't, you know, sheriffs didn't do any protection with the governor. And, you know, are we setting precedent here? I mean, I just have more questions than I do answers with the state employee. We don't have the resources, and people don't like forced overtime now. Of course, that's a different detail. So
It
people
is.
It
would
is.
like that. But the thing of it is, why is the county? Why in the city? She lives in Livonia, I think. Why isn't the city of Livonia doing protection or the state police?
She lives in the city of Plymouth, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry, Plymouth. I
And
got
even the
this.
same question applies. I truly don't know. I know her head of security is the one who contacted the sheriff's office because her security don't have any arresting power. But if you have any questions, please let me know and I'll get the undersheriff to answer them.
Mr.
That's my question, if you don't mind. That is my question.
Okay.
It's in
you
front of
said you
us to
had more
vote right now,
questions.
but we have to vote on funding, and I don't have the answer to that question. So
Can I
nothing
say this?
personal. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Commissioner Basham, I think that this $300,000 is coming out of the Attorney General's budget.
It
And,
is.
you know, like you and I know, every we could get from everywhere is good. So they'll be covering the costs. It's not to exceed 300,000. And this detail would be, I'm sure that they will absolutely have conversation with folks who would be first interested in handling it.
I guess I'm not making my point. I guess my thing is we just got through having a conversation about forced overtime, and people, you know, it's not just about the money. It's about responsibility. So I heard, you know, about it's going to be funded, you know, money wise, but when people are being forced overtime, they don't want to work in a jail, and yet we have people working, you know, in a city that has police protection, in a state that has police protection. Why, just because they fund it, why are we continuing to extinguish the services for the Wayne County sheriffs when I even push for the allowing the sheriffs to work after they've retired? So, I mean, you can't do both at the same time. You can't just say because somebody else is paying for it, we can provide the services when we don't have, you know, how many, you know, we're a couple hundred sheriffs short right now. And so that's my question. It's more procedural than who's paying for it, if that makes sense.
Samaya?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes.
Would that be the road patrol?
Yes, it will be the road patrol. Nobody from the jail will be on this duty or on
Right.
this,
No
yes,
one
on
that-
this detail.
No one.
It'll be a road patrol.
And there is no forced overtime with the road patrol, right?
No, there is none.
Okay.
And I will talk to the undersheriff to get the answers to Commissioner Basham's question.
Okay. All right. Any other
So
questions?
that helps. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Can I have a motion on this?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Support.
Properly moved by Commissioner Scott, supported by Commissioner Kenlock. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Kenizik,
An emphatic yes from my former boss.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yeah, a reluctant list, and it's procedural, not funding. So, yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Chair Clark Coleman,
I absolutely support this. I really, really do. We are always looking for more folks over in road patrol, and that's where people want to go. So if we've got a way to help more people get on the road patrol, then I think it's a good item. It doesn't cost the county any money, and we are creating additional spots for officers who want to do road patrol. So the motion carries. Next item.
F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
I have not been informed of any.
Public comments.
Okay, would you please unmute the listeners or the viewers? Let me know when you have them unmuted.
Lines have been unmuted.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public who would like to make a comment at this time? Is there anyone from the public who would like to make a comment at this time? Last call. Is there anyone from the public on Zoom or email who would like to make a comment at this time? And Madam Clerk, do you have any emails?
No, I don't have any email comments.
Okay, all right. Next item.
Adjournment.
So move.
Commissioner
Support.
Scott moves it. Who supported that?
And
Kinlock.
Ken Locke supported it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. The motion carries. See you guys.
Have a good afternoon, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay.